Kal Alal Malak Yahweh Wa Yahushai Bahashem Racha Kodash. And double honors to the elders of GMS Ruel, blessings unto those men, and blessings and salutations to the Akim out there in truth, pushing this word in all sincerity and in honesty. With that being said, Shalom Israel Barakatah. Today's lesson: the wicked loves those sanctions, and they do. Now here we have another RT.com article that says Democratic bill threatens more sanctions on Russia routers. Now this is one of the reasons why we go to outside sources like RT.com and routers, etc. Because when it comes to the United States media, you cannot trust them. They are paid to keep the truth out. But it goes on to say the proposed legislation reportedly aims to compel President Trump to extend additional support to Ukraine. A bill introduced by Democratic lawmakers in the U.S. House of Representatives on Monday threatens to impose additional sanctions on Russia in support of Ukraine, Reuters has reported. The legislation, which is not yet public, is designed to deter the administration of President Donald Trump from pursuing closer ties with Russia at the expense of Kyiv, according to the news agency. And those current ties of America and Russia that the people are now currently seeing upon the news is only temporary, because according to the scripture of Jeremiah 51:28, Russia will come against them in war. That is prophecy. No one can upset prophecy, because even the allies of America will betray them. The Lord has covered all angles, and therefore the end result shall be one of checkmate. No healing Babylon the Great. And here I have another article from the U.S. Department of Treasury that pertains to the Russian harmful foreign activities sanctions. That's why today's lesson is the wicked loves those sanctions. It further says, 1029, how do the prohibitions of Executive Order EO 14024 and other Russia-related sanctions impact gold-related transactions or persons participating in the gold market? Now, what is the EO 14024? And by the Google definition, it says that Executive Order EO 14024 establishes a new national emergency under which sanctions may be imposed against individuals and entities furthering specified harmful foreign activities of the Russian Federation. Now the article goes on to say, gold-related transactions involving the Russian Federation may be sanctionable under EO 14024 or other Russia-related sanctions authorities. For example, EO, which means Executive Order 14024, authorizes sanctions against persons determined to be responsible for or complicit in or to have directly or indirectly engaged or attempted to engage in deceptive or structured transactions or dealings to circumvent U.S. sanctions, including through the use of assets such as gold or other precious metals. Man, when it comes to the U.S., they got all these fancy wordings and all that when it comes to their laws, their wicked laws, that is. Plus, they don't even keep their own laws. Further reading says, persons determined to operate or to have operated in the financial services sector of the Russian Federation economy, which could include those engaging in gold-related transactions involving the Russian Federation, and persons that have materially assisted, sponsored, or provided financial material or technological support for or goods or services to or in support of persons blocked under EO 14024. This could include transactions in gold or other precious metals that involve such blocked persons. Like I said, they don't even follow their own laws. They break them as they go along. In addition, gold-related transactions involving Russia or the Russian Federation may be prohibited under EO 14024 or other Russia-related sanctions authorities. Now, the article goes even further to explain those sanctions, but enough information has been covered to get the point across. Now, the article mentioned that the executive order EO 14024 could include transactions in gold or other precious metals that involve such blocked persons. And when it comes to biblical scripture, it has said that the Medes shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. You see? With that being said, let's go over to the scripture of Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 17. And here we have that scripture of Isaiah 13 and 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Now, the Russians are those modern-day Medes that inhabit the land of the Persians. And they shall be stirred up to come up against modern-day Babylon, which refers to America. The Russians shall be stirred up to come up against modern-day America. Now, when it comes to the Dagestan region, as you can see here in the highlight, it was once controlled by the Persians, and the Persians now are the Iranians. They changed their name in 1935, and today it is part of Russia. You see, Persians who settled in Dagestan were among the first to live in what we now call Russia, and there's your answer. Remember that the scriptures speak in code, parables, and in mysteries. Although most Persians now live either in Iran or in one of the nearby Central Asian or Middle Eastern countries, small Persian communities might also live in many other nations around the world, especially in the West. There is a small Iranian diaspora in Russia as well, you see? So the Medes represents those Russians, according to the scripture, that shall not care for or be concerned about silver and gold. Remember that the Bible speaks in code, mystery, and in parables. It's a puzzle that involves historical research and of putting precepts together with other precepts to unravel the mystery, you see, to get to that point, to that truthful point. And when it comes to the Russians, they will not delight in any form of monetary system, and neither will they care about any official bans of embargo or further sanctions being placed upon them. So the Medes, the modern day Medes, which are the Russians, shall not care for or be concerned about silver and gold. The Russians, along with their allies, shall be stirred up to come up against Babylon the Great, which is America, with their bows and arrows in that greater war to come. Now the bows, that symbolizes the silo, and the arrow, that symbolizes the missile. That bow shall let loose, that silo shall let loose. And this is all biblical prophecy. And I'll say it again. Remember that the Bible speaks in code, mystery, and in parables. It's a puzzle that involves historical research and of putting precepts together with other precepts in the Bible to unravel the mystery. This is all biblical prophecy. So in that greater war to come, it shall be Edom versus Edom. But the other nations will also take part in that inevitable, destructive World War III to come. There's no healing Babylon the Great. A destructive fiery judgment from coast to coast shall come upon her. The Medes shall be the ones to make bright the arrows and shall destroy it. They shall destroy Babylon the Great in these modern times. With that being said, let's go over to prove that point in Jeremiah 51 and 11. Jeremiah 51 and verse 11. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes for his devices against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord Yahweh Yahushua, the vengeance of his temple. Now the arrows represents the missile that will carry multiple warheads inside of that one missile alone. The kings of the Medes speaks of the Russians. The Lord is returning in vengeance for what they have done unto the true Israelites and unto the earth. And for turning everything upside down, because they do contrary to what the scriptures say. Upon this wicked world, upon this wicked society of Esau, Edom, there's no harmony. They have destroyed everything. But the Lord shall renew it in righteousness. Everything shall be renewed in righteousness. Jeremiah 51 and 28. Prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. And you have stirred up the juggernaut forces of the modern day Medes. Jeremiah 51:29. And the land shall tremble in sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without an inhabitant. The Lord's purpose is to remove modern day Babylon from among power via the destructive arrows of these nations. And it shall be a destruction from coast to coast. No one's going to know where one state began and ended. But Russia will strengthen their ties with the other nations, and they shall come up against Babylon the Great. The only thing that is left for modern day Babylon to do is to implement the MOTB CHIP of Revelation 13 and 16. Babylon shall become desolate without an inhabitant once that CHIP is fully implemented. And the Holy Scriptures have said to warn them from me, in the scripture of Ezekiel 33 and 7. And that is exactly what we are doing. We are warning you of that greater war to come, and to not take that evil MOTB CHIP that is to come. Whosoever receives that MOTB CHIP in any part of their body, in their right hand or forehead, because a lot of people don't even have right arms, so it could be placed on another part of the body. But whosoever receives the MOTB in their right hand or forehead shall receive the overall wrath of the Lord Yahweh Yahushua, and shall be destroyed. Do not take it. But first cometh great tribulation, then the MOTB CHIP of deception, and then cometh that World War III quickly, as it says in the scripture of Revelation 11 and 14. Babylon the Great shall not make it. There is no healing Babylon the Great. But with that being said, Ka'ulallah Malak Yahweh, Wa Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Rachakwadash, and double honors to the elders of Jemas Ruel, blessings unto those men, and blessings and salutations to the Akim Hater in truth, pushing his word in all sincerity and in honesty. With that being said, Shalom Israel, Barakatah.